Welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Rick Utze from Maranatha Community Fellowship in Plain City, Ohio. There have been a couple items in the news the past week, and one of them just today had to do with a Little League team that was caught cheating and was stripped of its championship title here in the United States. And the team was from Chicago, and it really had nothing to do with the kids, but the adults had chosen players to be on their team that were outside of the residential boundaries that's set up by the Little League. And so they were cheating. They were bringing other kids in to make their team better. They were bringing in ringers, as we used to call them, so they had a better chance of winning. But it was cheating. And it seems to be an epidemic in sports and other things where you push the lines, you push the envelope, you go into dishonesty. And, we represent our teams and cities and country, and it's important that we represent them well. And it just reminds me of another story of a very well-known newscaster who embellished one of the stories that he was talking about when he was in Iraq and said he was under attack in a helicopter, and it all ended up being false, and even his apology wasn't fully truthful. And so NBC News was forced to suspend him without pay for 6 months. And you wonder, why would a well-known newscaster do that? And I think it's because it's so competitive. I mean, there's so few of those jobs. They get paid so much money, and he just tried to make himself look better. There's this selfish ambition. There's this that comes in, and he represented NBC News, and now people are questioning all the other stories that he told that had sensational parts in them. So he lost the trust and forced his company's hand because their reputation has been tarnished. And I want to read to you what it says in James 3 about selfish ambition. It says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic." So this wisdom we can see in earthly things. We can see it because people have this selfish ambition in their hearts. And that should not be the heart of a Christian. That should not be the heart of those in church. It should be like this. It says in verse 15, "This is not the wisdom that comes..." Oh, I read that. In 16, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is pure, it's peaceable, it's gentle, open to reason, full of mercy, good fruits, impartial, and sincere." And sincere means genuine, true, without hypocrisy or pretense. "And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." You see, if you have that kind of wisdom, you have a harvest of righteousness. And unless we think that it's just out there and we have no problems with it if we believe in Jesus Christ, there is still a temptation to be selfish and to have jealousy. And even as pastors, we can compete with other churches and get jealous of their ministries. And I thank God that He brought me into a church fellowship, the Plain City Church Fellowship, a group of pastors that meets together every month. And He did that when I first started my ministry here. And it just allows me to have friends and realize that we're in partnership together for Jesus Christ, not competition. And so it helps with that selfish ambition. But if any pastor would tell you that they never fight with that temptation, they're probably lying. And we have to examine our own hearts as Christians. And the bottom line is we represent Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. He is the one we represent. We don't want to tarnish His name. We don't want to misrepresent Him. We don't want people to look at us with distrust because we're not honest. And so let's remember who we represent, and it's Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Bottom Line.